one of the biggest moments in my aviation career, as well as my own emotional personal life, was over the South China Sea years ago, 45,000 feet. We had taken off from Tokyo.
Straits of Sumatra.
Straits of Sumatra, exactly. Tokyo, night flight on the way down to Jakarta. We'd been looking at ways to get around the hurricane that was around that area for the last couple of days. We've done a lot of work, a lot of discussions with our operations department, working together really well as a team. Hour and a half, 2 hours into the flight, we got through all the dangerous part. Guys had been fed in the back. They were asleep. Our flight attendant was asleep. We were sat in the front. I went back for a cup of tea. You're in the left-hand seat. Got in the right-hand seat. No sooner had I strapped myself in than massive turbulence out of nowhere.
Something we'll never forget, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, weather radar didn't show us anything. The EVS didn't show us anything, which was very strange. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we were flipped. Well, not flipped, but the turbulence kicked out the autopilot. And I just remember that we went into that mode, which is down to our training. Even though when we do, and this is the whole thing about, you can make your body and your mind trained to do something like on automatic. It's a muscle memory. Because we'd done so much training, it just kicked in about, how to recover from it. And I just remember, being very surprised, obviously, taking control and trying to get the aircraft back on a stable track. And I just remember hearing you very calmly giving me the speeds, giving me the altitudes and the rate of descents or climbs. And we got it back. We got it back to the level. And after that extreme turbulence. But then we had the other surprise, didn't we? All of a sudden, four more surprises.
Four big surprises.
Several times by lightning.
Yeah, big lightning strikes. I mean, I still think of that now. I've never seen anything. I don't think I'll ever see anything like it. That bolt of lightning literally feeling as though it hits you on the nose. Mm-hmm. And I remember in that situation, I was in the right-hand seat. So you were handling, autopilot got kicked out, nose came up quite sharply. Then the left wing dropped. Then the nose dropped really quite quickly. And the red tapes of overspeed started to come up. Pretty nasty situation. You got hold of it really quickly and stabilized it. Because we'd been in the training, I think you're absolutely right. We've been in that training environment. And recently we'd been, I think maybe together, the two of us, we'd gone through the Air France accident in the South Atlantic when they went through the thunderstorm and it screwed up the system. So they couldn't work out whether they were going fast or slow. And that was the immediate thing that came to my mind is like, whatever you do, come back to your senses. If it doesn't make sense there, how does it feel? Are we going too fast? Are we going too slow? And I really nailed it in. And if it wasn't for having been in that simulator, having gone through the situation that those poor souls didn't survive from, then if we'd been in that situation, wouldn't I have been able to deal with it? Who knows? I'm definitely not the hero pilot that thinks I can handle anything. You just don't know in that situation. But what I do remember is the feeling of my emotions at the time, how it was hitting me. I remember my heart rate racing up. I remember my breathing really shallow out. I remember that everything becomes colorless in a way. It's almost just like everything is just a gray picture. And you're going into that emergency mode thinking this actually could be my number, but also knowing that we had the advantage of that training. And I think this is a really good example for any of us we've got to read the manuals, we've got to try things, but we also have to have faith in ourselves that when we're in the line of fire, the line of those lightning strikes, that we can push through. We can push through.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a product of our training, but we also are a product of our own personal experiences and the mental state, the mental capacity to deal with these things. So yeah, I mean,
Can you remember how you felt at the time? Can you remember what was
I
happening
mean,
in your
I
body?
remember it was a surprise, but I remember not. I remember I didn't feel fatalistic, and I think that's because of my background and all the rest of it. Because you know, although I don't want to perish, I'm not afraid of perishing,
Mm.
and so yes, the thought flickered through my mind is that it's almost like I had the confidence, or not the confidence, the belief that everything would be all right. And so, in a way, that it was so quick, wasn't it, Ben? It was such an intense, situation, and so quick that I remember the surprise factor, the startle factor, for sure, and also a little bit of, you could say fear. A little bit of fear was there, but as you said, we just kicked into doing what we had to do, almost like automatically. And it's only afterwards that we, when the autopilot's back in, when we're cruising, that we can reflect on these things. It was, oh my God, okay. That's when you really start to assess the situation that you've just been through, and thank the stars that we're still there, and that the aircraft is such a great machine that it keeps going. And it was funny, wasn't it? Because all the passengers were quite happy about the excitement of it all.
I know. Well, some of the being a slightly different culture, there was that uncertainty about actually talking to us. But one guy did. I think he was quite charged about that. But having studied the physiology and understanding a bit about the brain there, I know what was happening in my situation there. The fear is a good thing. Fear is a good thing. Basically, our fight and fly system, the sympathetic nervous system, kicks in to say, you got to do something pretty damn quick. I'm going to shut everything else down in your body and your mind that you don't need in this particular circumstance, either to run away, fight the situation, or perhaps freeze and listen to what else is going on. Of course, we weren't in that. We couldn't turn around effectively and go back. We had to keep going on. We couldn't fight the situation. We just had to take it second by second. But I think understanding that you have that limbic system, that sympathetic nervous system in the back there kicking in immediately, we need to add that sophisticated part, the neocortex in the front. And that's the bit that we developed through the simulator training and our own emotional responses, your Hindu faith, your spiritual faith. Likewise, for me, I don't have a specific religion that I follow, but I have the spiritual understanding, and that's the sophisticated bit, knowing at what point what is real in terms of fear at the back. Yes, that was a real life potential fatal situation, but we managed to get ourselves in the groove. And I think this is a great metaphor for me. I think about this a lot, is that you can plan like we did for 2 days beforehand about how we best avoided this situation. We knew that there was still a risk. We did what we could to minimize that risk. And just at the classic time, 5:30 in the morning, when your circadian rhythm is at its lowest, thinking everything's over, then boom, absolutely from nowhere. And it wasn't only just the turbulence. I was thinking, hey, let's just get through this, we're going to be fine. And then suddenly, boom, those four bolts of lightning. And I think of those lights of bolt, strikes of lightning as your fear, doubt, uncertainty, insecurities that come from nowhere, however much practice and planning we can do. But what on the other side, for me, what do you remember about when we came out of that? The view over the Indonesian islands.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. That sunrise, just extraordinary. What an incredible metaphor. So the idea you were saying, talking about that you didn't feel fatalistic. And did I feel fatalistic? I thought, well, this could be my number if I don't kick my training in and really work this one through. But we had our mind on that destination. That was our job to do. And I think that's the same for all of us in life. If we've set ourselves a goal, we've set ourselves a destination that we want to get to, we've got to be able to believe in ourselves to get through those incredibly difficult thunderstorms, turbulences, lightning strikes. We will always see that beautiful sunrise on the other side. And we got on the ground, didn't we? We spent a week
we
there
did.
whilst
Yeah.
we had the airplane patched up, and then
Yeah.
and then
And we had that mega trip going the other way around the world to get to maintenance in America.
we did back to Dallas via
Yeah.
well, it was Jakarta to Guam, Hawaii, and back to
Guam,
Dallas
Hawaii. Yeah.
under special license.
Yes.
Nose
Crossing
cone,
fuel.
yeah, nose cone completely replaced, radar completely replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting one, wasn't it? So I mean,
it was indeed.
what in terms of, we talked about this before, but what do you get out of that in terms of our relationship? And
I mean, as I said to you, I just remember, as you say, the senses are heightened or heightened in a focused fashion. So I just remember you very, very calmly, and I thought, wow, this is good at the time, because all I could hear was you were giving me the speeds, the altitude readouts and the trends, which is, which I thought was the performance between us. The crew resource that we had together was just, I thought, top notch. And again, that's the muscle. We have a muscle memory because of the training that we've had, and I think, if you want to achieve something in life, even though you may not like it at the time, if you train your mind in a certain way and create the new neural pathway that may not have been there in the past, that will kick in when you need it. So it's all, I think from our aviation perspective, the whole doing the CRM, the training, it gives us that ability to deal with situations without actually thinking about it, because we didn't think about it. We just did it. There was no time to think about it. We just had to do it.